years ago, I came to the Villa Datris when the Sculptrices show was on. And it was a very interesting show. And I remember very well this room. I was really interested in this particular space. It's no longer used as a bathroom. These sinks don't work, but something about the arrangement of the space and the materials and the pattern on the floor really caught my attention. So as Laurent and I were speaking, I thought, well, I would really love to do something in this space. So I envisioned doing a sculpture that would incorporate some of these patterns that are in the villa into my built piece. But then what happened was, because it's a very large exhibition, some of these two spaces were needed for other works. So the other works that were to be shown in this room, along with mine, had a quality of being sort of like a miniature model. And I thought it would be very strange and not very good to have this giant piece of mine and then two sort of smaller model-like pieces. So when I arrived here 2.5 weeks ago, I just changed my idea completely and decided to react to the conditions that were here, the beautiful space, but also the fact that there would be other sculpture in the room. So I decided to interiorize my idea about this room and build this environment that you could only see through this aperture, through this hole in the wall. And what I like about this idea is that it's really a viewing experience only for one person at a time. Two people can't look in here simultaneously. So one person will look in and they will have a certain kind of experience. They'll be attracted to different elements in that space. And then they'll have a conversation with their friend who will see it separately, and they'll compare notes, and everybody's going to see it differently and understand it differently. So for me, this whole idea of conflating architecture and sculpture, I wanted to do something that really talked about how people interact with the space itself. So what was interesting for me tonight was to see how people will approach the piece, and depending on how tall or how short they are, they have to arrange their bodies and their eye to look inside. And so for me, that's the part that's about architecture, really, is like how we arrange our bodies according to the space. And also initially, I really was, not only was it about the pattern on the floor and the proportion of the room, but the mirror was really important. It was going to work a lot with the mirror in my sculpture. When I had to redo my idea, I put the mirror aside. I stopped thinking about the mirror. But then I realized that actually the mirror is incredibly important to the piece, because when people come in the room, they might not really even realize there's something here, but they will look at themselves in the mirror and then suddenly they see this thing here. So it's a way of kind of conflating reality and transporting people into a different way of thinking. So I like what mirrors do. And that was really one of the main things about this space. Because I changed my idea, I stopped thinking about it. But then suddenly here I am with this finished piece and I realize how important it is. So one of the things I really like to do in my work is I like to arrive at a place and react to it. So just on the spot, engage with the space, engage with the local materials. But it's part of the art making process to go to a new place and figure out where to get stuff and what is here and what's available and what's the piece going to be about. So instead of making something and just sending it along, I really like to arrive and react and engage with the space. So that's what I did here.